Hello Popcorn Junkies, welcome to this incredibly unusual review scenario.
We are in a car.
Why are we in a car?
I don't know. No, because once we get home, it will all be madness. So we thought, let's get it done. We've literally just come out of the cinema and we haven't even spoken to each other. So it's just a different way to do it.
It's a different way to do it.
We have no idea what the other one thinks.
Anyway, so this is a review of a film called The Roses. It stars Olivia Colman. It stars Benedict Cumberbatch. It's got Andy Samberg in there and Kate McKinnon, who plays his partner. And other notable details in terms of the credit list. I don't know the director, but the writer wrote things like Poor Things and The Favourite, films that we love.
So before we tell you anything about this film, if you could just hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, that would be marvellous. Okay,
so The Roses, it's inspired by a book, based on a book, which means that the original film, The War of the Roses, must have been based on the same book too, starring Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner.
And both of us have flash memories of that.
Yes, we do. I had a huge hot crush on Kathleen Turner.
You had a crush on anyone to ever.
Yeah, but you loved Michael Douglas as well.
I did actually.
Yeah. So the idea behind it is a marriage that goes sour or turns sour, and the extraordinary length to which they go to hurt each other. Exactly. War of the Roses, the classic Lancashire, Yorkshire, War of the Roses and all that kind of stuff. I went into this, having seen the trailer, thinking we were going to very much get obviously a comedy, a bitter and twisted, whip smart, fast and furious, brilliantly performed, clever, cutthroat comedy about the demise of a relationship.
Because it was a laugh out loud trailer.
It really was. And it was incredibly fast and it was incredibly crisp. Now, the setup of this, I quite enjoyed. Obviously, he's an architect, but he's very successful.
He's part of a wanky group and they're all celebrating themselves, this tower block of apartments they've made. He's pissed off with them. He's in a restaurant and he goes off into the kitchen where she is, and there's lovely lighting. They took Olivia Colman and back him like
they were
30
digitally
years.
enhanced.
Oh, they were digitally
enhanced. There was a bit of digital CGI youthifying that went on there.
And it was great because it was a great first electric
how they met.
Chemistry. So
and
then they go and shag in a fridge.
Yes, exactly. But what we have established there is he's an architect, she's a cook or a chef. He's successful, she's not so successful. And then they get together and they have a family, they have children. And then he goes through a professional kind of nightmare. He builds this building that looks like a ship. There's a hurricane and quite literally it all falls apart and goes to sea.
A few months before that, he has gifted her this sort of dream shack of a restaurant on the beach and a really romantic gift. Like, you've been bringing up the kids for 10 years, you're a genius chef, but at the moment you're cooking just for 3 people and you create 7 a day of the most extraordinary desserts. You must follow your dream and your ambition. Lovely romantic moment.
Yeah, it was.
So at the point that he reveals his new beautiful, and he's the star of the show, for his architecture of this beautiful building, on that very same night there is a huge storm and his building gets destroyed. But lo and behold, what happens to her restaurant? People escaping from the storm come to her restaurant, and one of the people in that restaurant is a top food critic. And of course, she's a stunning cook and she loves her food and she gets an amazing review. And then she's on the road of stardom and success, just as her husband is falling from grace.
How did you feel the setup worked in terms of their electric come together?
It lost pace.
I found it incredibly hurried. I found that we kind of rushed through so many things. I mean, it's partly not helped by the fact that we jumped 5 years and then 10 years and I just found that I found it an incredibly oddly rushed front to the film.
Well, the thing is, it was rushed, but it was boringly slow.
Right.
I wanted more because I loved their characters and I loved their chemistry and loved their chat, and the dialogue kind of ran out. It was really odd. We were just getting scraps of dialogue. I mean, all the way through there are good gags, there are great lines delivered brilliantly by both of them,
all of them in the trailer,
but I found it very saggy.
Yeah, I don't
saggy
know.
and slow.
If I'm brutally honest, I found the setup and I found the conceit of his restaurant, of his building going down and a restaurant going up. I found the plotting. That's what I mean. I found the storytelling. I found it just dragged. I found it really predictable.
Dragged terribly.
I found it predictable. I found it obvious. I didn't think it was nuanced in any way. And I'm not wanting kind of sophistication, but like the shit, even when the building fell down, it was obvious. And then her business went up. It was
very cliche.
It was incredibly cliche. And I think the thing that threw me at that point was with a playwright like Tony McNamara, or whatever his name is, the guy who did The Favourite, I was expecting something much cleverer and wittier. And whilst there were witty moments at the front, I wasn't as entertained, and I realised I hadn't laughed for the first 35 minutes, really.
No, it was funny right at the beginning, and then it just wasn't funny for ages.
Yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch's... Sorry, we've just had to put the air conditioning on, if you can notice the difference now. It's very warm. Benedict Cumberbatch's character just became really irritating and really unbelievable. And the whole relationship with his kids, where he goes from this, you know, incredibly successful star of the show architect to a stay-at-home dad who becomes obsessed with his children's fitness and wants to put them on the road. It was just crass. It was like, oh God, he's such an ambitious person, so he's just putting this ambition. It was very one-dimensional. His character was very one-dimensional all the way through that.
But I hate to say it,
and unlikable.
Well, he was unlikable, but I also found her unlikable too. I tell you what was
too
really
much of a leap.
Yeah, and basically the point of the film is, as you rightly say, his light goes down. There's lots of chat between him and their friends about he's a failure and what's it like to be married to a failure, and you know you've got
lots of very unpleasant characters.
Yeah, lots of unpleasant characters, but also
because at one point you turned to me and went, "It's a bit depressing."
Well, no, that's the point. Exactly the point I was going to make. I found myself really feeling quite not miserable. I tell you what I felt like. I felt like I was invited to the meal where a couple really didn't like each other, and I just wanted to escape.
Because the beginning was full of promise. Oh wow, there's this electric chemistry between them, and we were kind of smiling and laughing because it was really lovely. And then this witty banter, but very quickly he gives a nastier side. It was too quick. We jumped from. We wanted to luxuriate more in the characters. You know, amazing relationship. You know, everybody's fascinated by these relationships that are like all shit and all sugar. But it just went to all shit, and we weren't getting enough sugar in between. So we'd almost forgotten by the time they got to divorce that they'd ever really liked or loved each other. Whereas what you needed, I think, all the way through it was them being really horrible, very passionate relationship, with 1 minute being horrible, and the next minute they're being fantastic and funny, and they got that in moments, but we needed that all the way through, because otherwise we were just in a horrible, argumentative, bit depressing relationship with two selfish people.
I tell you, I don't know if you agree with me on this. I think one of the mistakes I felt they made a little bit was they put the emphasis of their relationship, and this is going to sound really awful, I think they put the emphasis of their relationship too much on the sex at the front, which it's not that I found it unpalatable, but they're not sexy. I don't find them sexy. I didn't find their relationship sexy. I didn't find them sexy to look at together. So, and I'm not. That's
because they didn't have enough of the fun bits.
Yeah.
Because you could forgive it. So we were having like nasty, and then like a couple of lines were like, oh, but let's have sex. It was just the balance was all wrong. If it was a recipe, if it were a meal, it needed a sprinkle more oregano, a little more garlic, a bit more seasoning here. It was bland, and it shouldn't have been bland.
It felt very surface, and I have to say this is one of the problems I sometimes have with Benedict Cumberbatch. I never have this problem with Olivia Colman. I mean, and I noticed on a few occasions in this where she was really emoting, or she was really hurt, or she was like slapped in the face or rejected, she immediately accesses a deep reservoir of emotion, which I didn't feel anything deep from him at all. I felt all of it was being played on the surface, apart from there was one moment where I felt his career sort of hopelessness. I mean, I even found him re-watching the clips of the memes of his building going down. It was all too two-dimensional.
No, but it was
too
that.
obvious.
It was that hole that British filmmaking can fall into, where everything has to have a kind of seaside sort of rhythm to it. Seaside fun. Sort of, so it's not played enough in truth.
Oh, I thought the whole
because
thing
then
wasn't
it can be
truthful.
funny, but it was a little bit panto.
It felt like that. It felt like that all the way through. I thought Andy Samberg delivered a lot of laughs. That was the male friend who became
Every time
the lawyer.
he spoke, he was funny.
Every time he spoke, it was funny. Kate McKinnon, who played his girlfriend, the kind of, I think she's Saturday Night Live. She was funny, but kind of disgusting.
Too much. It was too much.
Yeah,
it was too disgusting.
Yeah.
Again, the balance of flavours was all wrong in that character.
I'm going to say something really, really contentious. I just found, even when their relationship was nice and good, and even when they were theoretically connecting, but also when they weren't connecting and when they were out and they didn't want to be together, and they were hating each other and they were sort of attacking each other and all that kind of stuff, I just found it reminded me of so many relationships that are normal relationships. Two-dimensional, really horrible, quite angular. Competitive, no warmth. I just needed some milk of human kindness between the two.
We didn't have enough. She often referred to the fact that he was very needy and that he was I don't think we saw enough of that of him. The way they were both describing each other, it was like, oh, did we miss a bit? Because I didn't see that, and yet we felt like we'd been there for ages, but we didn't actually get that part of the story.
No, I agree.
And I genuinely do think all the characters were just too unpleasant. So I felt like I spent hours with people I would walk away from in a party in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And it felt like the director, it was like it needed a female director, I'm sorry. Because I felt like the director didn't have feelings. You know the bit when she comes to the bathroom door after she's been awful and she's talking through the door? It would have been much better that Benedict didn't have his headphones on and that he'd heard it and he was trying to process it. Or at least give us something after that scene so that they can be some understanding that that's what happened. It was like lots of sketches. It was like a sketchbook of ideas of emotions without any follow through or carry on.
All of it was, for me, performative. All of it was surface.
I was disappointed.
All of it was obvious. I thought all the plot devices were obvious. I thought even...
Which you can forgive when you're getting something really funny and like good characters. I don't mind sometimes. I don't mind sometimes when it's like a comedy as well. You know, predictable lines and stuff. But I must be watching a good character and a good story alongside those. And it was just a D minus all the way through.
Well, and the final thing, and this is a spoiler review, I do want to say what happens at the end. Given what happens at the end for them both, in terms of how they get back onto that bed together, what happened to me at that point, weirdly, was, oh my God, hang on. If this whole film is really one huge, embellished, protracted argument, as a device, we know this because we've wanted to do something similar. As a device, that's a really neat device. They completely dropped the ball. It didn't work. The places they'd taken, you know, shooting guns, throwing knives, it had gone too far.
But also, there hadn't been the passion throughout that made it authentic that they were going. It was performative again. There wasn't even an explosion at the end.
No, I know, that was weird.
Fade to white.
Fade to white.
Fade to white, I'm afraid, was the emotional journey you put us on.
You know, when she got on the jet with the celebrity chef and she headed off, they were such achingly obvious moments of him doing the knits and him saying, are you not coming home? And I found the gender role reversal thing almost crass, because what it actually revealed was just all the stereotypes it was indulging in for men and women. And I just thought there was nothing clever actually about it.
I predict an awful lot of people are going to like this.
Do you?
I think we are so intense in our relationship that we wanted something more intense than us.
I wanted something cleverer, deeper. Not cleverer, deeper. I just wanted something deeper.
Intense.
I found
intense
the kids,
is the right word. Stop looking for another word.
No, I know, but I found the kids annoying.
Our intensity probably really affected our enjoyment.
But also it was directed badly. Things like when he gets out of the car and he's on the floor, is he killing? There was a funny line there about suicide. Is he suiciding?
The pace of it was really
Him
fast.
shouting into his own face and sort of doing all of this kind of stuff. There was Andy Samberg had some of the best lines. The one when he sat down in the lawyer's office when he said,
lawyer's office,
"Yeah, but what was it he
great
said about?
scene.
I remember everything she says. Now I've listened to everything and I can't remember a thing she said."
No, I used to know
No.
what she was going to say. Now
Before
when
she
she
said it.
says something, I don't know what she said.
Don't know what she said after. I mean, there were some really nifty one-liners in there. I thought his relationship and their lines about an open relationship. She was funny at first, but then she just became really quite
really
disgusting and unpleasant and sort of.
And there was no journey to it. She was just
No,
perving.
no.
It was just a perv. It was just watching like a pervy old man, like touching
Yes.
people up whenever anyone left the room, and I don't find that pleasant in either sex.
No, I agree. Final point I want to make personally, it's a gripe. I am so fucking sick to death of these films using green screen for every single balcony or scenic shot. So many of those scenes where they were sat out on verandas with the sea behind them, green screened. We can see it. Fucking hell.
It's
The budget's got
embarrassing,
so crushed.
especially when it's so important for this film that they're living
Yes.
this incredible life, this beautiful building, on this beautiful location, and it was like, oh, okay, it's not really.
No. For me, a real disappointment.
We were looking forward to it, and it
I
was
felt a bit
awful.
depressed.
It was bad.
I felt really miserable at points. I was
Me
sort of
too.
thinking, oh,
Well, no, because I was stuck at a party with people I would have walked away with after 2 minutes.
what about that awful scene at the table when they're insulting each other?
It's
It was
horrible.
just not even funny in
No.
a rude way. It was
No,
not
it wasn't
nice
even
rude.
funny in it's going wrong way. It was just not funny. It was just horrible.
So your score is always, what would you say to friends?
Well, I won't be saying to any friends go and see it.
Oh, wow. But you think everyone's going to like it?
No, I'm not everyone's going to like it, but I think more people than we would expect are going to like it. Like before, what was that film? What was that film
In the
before
Line of Duty,
when we
wasn't
hated with the Crazy Rich Asians?
Oh, don't you think? Well, I didn't think it was as bad as that.
No, it wasn't
think
as bad
it's
as
better.
that, but do you remember how many people
Oh,
loved
God,
that?
yeah. I would score this 30.
Will you say to anyone, go and see it?
No, I won't.
There you go. That's all you need to know.
All right, 20. 20, because there were some good lines.
20 out of 10.
Andy Samberg is the
20
best
out of
thing in it.
10.
Andy Samberg is the best thing in it.
And he's only got 10 lines.
They threw Olivia Colman away. She could have given us all the warmth
She's
we
always
needed.
watchable and she's always great. And Cumberbatch is always watchable and was great. But they were let down by the edit, by the director, by the pace. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? As an actor, you walk away from the job, but how are they going to edit it?
And actually, the trailer was so
very
tight.
slow.
It was so tight,
Yeah,
the trailer.
the trailer was
And
really
this was achingly long.
I
Achingly
wonder
long.
what they thought
and unpleasant.
of it.
And unpleasant.
Olivia and...
Right down to when the kids phoned in and they were divorced. The fact that they were happy
No,
about
but
it. There
what
was
about-
no...
What about when they walked through to leave the airport and phoned straight away, remind me of the nutrition? It was like, oh, please.
Oh, it was
That's
awful.
so unbelievable.
Oh, it was awful. It
It
was
was
awful.
awful. It was lazy.
Oh, it's getting worse.
It was lazy.
Lazy. It was lazy. Fuck it. I'll give it 10.
Sorry.
10.
Why are you giving it numbers? Would you say to someone to go?
No.
If someone said to you now...
No, I
would
wouldn't.
you
Don't save your money.
Don't go.